every so often we won't do a Matinee Monday. Probably more often than you might think. In replacement of that, we're doing what's called the Rewind. What the Rewind is, we look back at movies that have come out a while ago. And I'm at a time we decide it's appropriate. Maybe films we haven't seen yet and done in the show, or films that, were way before the show came out. And we discuss them. We look back and it's like, hey, does this movie still hold up? Is this still the either masterpiece it said it was, the entertainment quality it said it was, or is it not that anymore? When we go back in and we does it hold up? It's basically, does it hold up? We go back in and discuss it again. We rewatch it together.
We take out the rose-tinted glasses.
And we just discuss it again. This week we decided to do Mad Max Fury Road. Mad Max Fury Road specifically, I'm a huge Mad Max fan. My dad introduced me to this series when I was a kid, and I love those movies. I just love them. They're stupid, but they're so much fun. Fury Road came out, though, and I saw it, and I'm like, this movie is a masterpiece. And it's not just when it came out, I'm like, this is not just a good movie. It's got so many, things it's saying, so many different commentaries it's making out, it's so many different things it's doing. I just respect a lot. I was really, really into it when it first came out, and I saw it in theaters, saw it 3 times in theaters, and I was all in. This movie's great. What about you? I know you didn't see it in theaters with me.
Yeah, I didn't see it in theaters, and to be honest, I didn't grow up with the Mad Max movies. It was never really my thing, and I wasn't aware of it until a few years ago, because, I grew up in a very Christian conservative house.
Yeah.
A lot of things...
It's not a Christian conservative movie.
I didn't get to see...
Not in the slightest.
Like I said in the first episode, I didn't see Star Wars until I was 12 or 10.
Oh, wow.
10 or 12 or something, in between that time period, right? Mm-hmm. And so obviously it flew under my radar. Yeah. I didn't know about it. And it's fine. It's a good film. It's just... I don't know. It's got some problems. It looks beautiful. I'm not... it's a gorgeous looking film.
After rewatching it, the feelings I did, there are little things I noticed they could have done better, but very, very little.
Yeah, it doesn't take away from it too much. And I do sit there and I'm like, a lot of the things I saw from it are still there, but they're the tiniest nitpicks. The tiniest. I know you have an issue with how it starts. I think it starts really well. I think it's really interesting, but I kind of can see how it can get a little boring, though. Not really... Well, kind of... It's not as intriguing as the rest of the film is.
It sort of just starts expecting you to know and like Mad Max, which I can see as a problem, but this isn't... I'd much rather have that than 20 minutes of explanation of who Mad Max is.
Yeah, I would rather have...
And the little bit we do get, because this movie is really cool, and rewatching it again, I noticed it a lot. It's got a few themes in it. It's the idea of sanity. Mm-hmm. Max, in most of the movies, he's
mad.
He's mad, but he's not crazy. He's just walking that line of not crazy. He's just not there yet. He's unhinged, but not crazy. This movie's no. He's gone.
Oh, it takes his one day.
He's seeing things. He's hearing things. He's lost. He's just lost in his own head, and I'm like, that's awesome. And it almost seems like he's trying to be better than everyone else around him, even though he's actually crazy. And the movie more and more shows how, no, he's just like them, honestly. By making characters like Knox, who are crazy but come to more his level, and you realize that it's not necessarily that he's better than them, he just puts himself up that higher standard. He's just like them, he just has a higher standard for himself, which is really cool. It's the idea of, what is really sanity? Because everyone's crazy, isn't that the new sane? So isn't Max, in actuality, the only crazy man in this insane world because he's the one who believes he's sane? And he's the one fighting the craziness, and it's really interesting. Along with that, it has this theme, not really theme, but its use of female characters I adore so much. They're awesome, they're very interesting, they're independent, they're not sexual, no, they're gorgeous women, and it appreciates how gorgeous they are, but it gives them character, more to it. It's yes, being beautiful and sexual is amazing, but being your own person's important too, and it's that bit that movie really captures, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah, because they could have easily been written as the dumb girls that are just thrown into the back of the car and screaming the entire time, "Oh no, they're catching up! Oh no, I'm having my baby!"
It's not one of those movies that's oh, we're gonna take it easy because they're girls. No, it throws a pregnant lady under a car, and nothing attached. It's no, this is how this would happen. This is where it's gonna go, and it doesn't doesn't belittle these characters by trying to make them not deal with as much. No, it makes them deal with the hardship. It makes them face the world they're going into. It's a very... These girls who've never actually seen the hardship of this world now facing that hardship and watching them learn to deal with it, and each one kind of comes to terms with what the world around them actually is. It's fascinating. And also realize these girls are insane. They are gone. They flew way over the cuckoo's nest. They're 10 miles over the cuckoo's nest. It's ridiculous.
Just 10 miles?
Just 10 miles.
Yeah.
There are some things, though, in this movie that, in hindsight, I realize that it could use a lot of work. One of them is I love the coloring, but the coloring ranges from super, 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 super cool and artsy almost, like really artistic. Like there's one scene where everything's blue except for the guy on the guitar who's the light shining on him and he just has this bright red color, these bright colors where he's just railing on the guitar and everything else is blue, which is really cool and really pretty. But then there's just scenes that are just all orange. Just all orange. Just a very orange movie.
The cinematography is beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I was looking at it again. I'm like, you know what? You could pretty much take a screenshot of pretty much any
and make
point,
a background,
any frame in this film, and make it a picture. It would look very picturesque. Even the things that are just like disgusting and bloody as all get out.
Yeah, and
like, that's a beautiful shot.
It's really cool, but you can tell it's George Miller kind of like. George was a very artistic director. He's a very artistic director, and some of his works are super, super artsy. Like, I still say Happy Feet. It's a kid's movie, but it's trying to be a very artsy kid's movie. That's why I liked Happy Feet 1. I thought it was a lot of fun. Yeah. I like the music, I like the commentary, I like the kind of psychedelic feel it had to it. There's a whole commentary about God and like things bigger than yourself, and just this whole... It's really interesting. And Miller brings it to his Mad Max again. But you can tell he's battling a cool action movie with a very artistic action movie, and it's a constant battle that it's not bad, it's just noticeable. You see it
I think it works a little bit better as an action film.
I agree to it,
but I
like the art moments. The moment,
I love that
Furiosa's on her knees and just beautiful, like the salt flats, just on her knees, and there's no real sound, just her screaming because she's lost everything. It's just a beautiful, artistically looking scene, just gorgeous. I cannot. This movie without that would just be nothing. It's such
I'm not
emotionally satisfying part, but it's so artistic that's where the beauty comes from, is how artistic it is. That scene with the guitar, it's really pretty. The whole thing with the spotlight, and the spotlight being, the light being danger. And it's another artistic way of using coloring, is that everything's blue and then you see this light is the danger. So the only difference in color is the danger. It's just really interesting.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the two are mutually exclusive things, but like, it leans a lot more to the action.
It does.
The art.
All the action sequences are very they're cool looking, but it's very actiony, which is great because pretty much all of it's practical effects, which is why it looks so good. But it's super you can still be artsy have the artsy feel to it while being super, super just blatantly blockbuster action. But there's so many parts where it's just blockbuster action. It's well done, it's well cut, it's well edited, it's well shot,
well written,
but it's still just a really cool action sequence with no real super artistic value to it. I'm like,
There are a couple small little things, and it's a lot of little stuff in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like right after all the women have been taken off the main road.
Yeah.
And Rabbit, you better calm down there, little rabbit.
He's being noisy.
There's a bit by one of the rev heads. He says something to another one of them. I forgot which one said what to which or whatever. And he's giving this expositional dialogue. Oh, they've taken him off road. These are his prized women.
Yeah.
Shouldn't he know that?
Well, no. It's not that, because he's in there getting the blood put into him. And I'll argue with this scene. It's him saying, "Hey, there's a war going on. Furiosa's gone rogue. He's taken his prized breeders." And I'm like, he wouldn't know that information. To us, It's exposition-y because we know that. We know where it's going. But it's very quick, it's very simple, it's to explain what this character knows what's going on.
Maybe it was just the delivery that kind of bothered me.
I'll agree that.
The delivery was a little off.
That particular character was a little off.
Because it's not that the writing was god-awful, or it's like, these people are really important, and the entire plot's going to revolve around them.
George Miller does some of the writing, and Brandon McCarthy hops him on it, and both of them work together beautifully on this writing of the script.
It's more the delivery that just kind of made that stand out.
And I'm surprised for a George Miller film, someone who knows what he wants in a movie, knows how he wants his movies to go, and knows where it's supposed to go, that he does allow that one character to kind of drag it down a little bit. I'm like, I know you're better than this. Now that character does get a great moment where Nox has the little thing where he gets to go on Immortal Joe's car because he has the one piece of her clothing, and the guy was like, "I got his boot! I got his boot! I got the blood bag's boot!" And I'm just like, everyone ignores him. It's like, dude, you're way too late. He does like so much better. I'm like, that's awesome.
It's still pretty good. I mean, I took a 15-minute nap.
Yeah, you fell asleep halfway through. I was actually a little mad at you. I'm like, dude, I wasn't watching that retrospect. What are you doing?
I had a very long day today.
Like I said, the commentary the movie has is really cool. This concept of there's two sides. There's the extreme chastity. You marry to one man, you have his kids, and you do what he wants you to do, which is the Immortal Joe and the Citadel. And then there's the mothers who are very liberated, very sexually free. They use sexuality as not only something beautiful, but as a weapon. And their society is destroyed. Just completely destroyed. But it was once beautiful, now it's gone. And this commentary, in a world like this, that ideology, and its purest form doesn't work, but Immortal Joe's doesn't work because we'll rebel. There's a middle ground you have to find. Being 100% free and like, oh, women are the best thing ever, it's only women are great, you can't trust men, ideology doesn't work because it's just as corrupting as women. You can't trust women. They're shown as two different sides, one shown better than the other, but when you find out that the entire society was destroyed, you realize maybe a society where all these women just don't like men isn't necessarily the best one in the world, and it tells you there's a middle ground. Women are meant to be free. They're people, meant to be treated like people. But working with men and working with the other side isn't a bad thing. It's trying to find an understanding between the two. And Max and Nox being the extreme, I'm a part of this all-male society, expected too much out of me. Another thing has there the idea that in an all-male society where males are supposed to be the dominant, powerful, they kind of a little crazy because they're expected so much out of them. And when Nox is finally able just to be himself, he becomes a good person. When the stresses of what's expected out of him is taken off, he does want to do good. He wants to help, and he wants to be understanding and interesting. Because it tells you that it's a whole the stresses of that society is what made him do all these crazy things. He was hoping to get it when it was all taken away from him. He realizes that no, I don't need that. I found someone I love. I want to work with them. I want to be with them. He starts taking their advice, starts listening to them. It's really cool. And it's idea men and women have to work together for things to get accomplished. Because in the end, how they win, how they beat this super, super masculine society is working together with Max and Nox. Without Max, they would be dead instantly.
Oh, yes.
There was no way they were doing this without Max.
Yeah, no, he's central.
It's really well done because they end up going back to the Citadel, to this very hyper-masculine environment, to change it, to make it better, so that people will work with each other. They take away that symbolism of hyper-masculinity by just killing it. It's like, we gotta get rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
And they start working together. It's a really cool concept, because most movies that have the whole anti-masculine society always say you need the extreme other. And this one's like, no, two extremes don't work. It has to be a balance. Like everything in life, there's a balance. I think it's really well done. So the best parts of this movie is that balancing act, and it's really interesting. And I just find this is great because it sheds light on issues we have to deal with every day, but also sheds light on the issues men have to deal with every day. And there's high expectations that it's just almost unachievable because there's just so much stress behind it. But at the same time, the high expectations for women to say nothing, be nothing, and are only there as breeders, because it just calls them breeders. Mm-hmm. And it shows you that these two are awful and don't work. You have to find a fair middle ground. Everyone should work together to make better. And it's just so cool. It's well done. There are little issues in the movie. I don't think it's as good as it was when I first saw it, because, Mario, I was like everywhere, like, this is the greatest movie of all time! This is the greatest thing ever! Yeah. I love it! After rewatching it, no, it's not, but it's the best Mad Max movie we've ever had. Period. It's one of the best action movies I've ever seen. Period. And you can understand Tom Hardy in this one. Hooray! The fact that Max has almost nothing is great. I just love how Furiosa is the main push of this movie. Furiosa's the main character of this movie, and she deserves it wholeheartedly. She's the best part of this movie for me. I like this movie a lot.
Thank you for listening to Collectors Coalition, a Magnesium Studios production. If you like what you've heard, be sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on iTunes. We're also available on PodOmatic and Soundcloud.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram @Collectors Coalition and on Twitter @Collect Coalition.
Stupid character limits.
If you want to write in, drop us a line at thecollectorscoalition@gmail.com. For exclusive footage, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Just search Collectors Coalition.
And remember, stay nerdy, my friends.